Oh hi, didn't see you there. I'm Mr. Bart, and welcome to Modifying OpenRA. Bear with me because this is about the 5th take I've done of this. I've had the computer essentially crash, so I'm going to try and go through this as quick as possible though. I just want to point out that there might be some technical glitches. I'm switching through a bunch of different screens, but I want to keep it as large as possible so you can see it on the screen and see what I'm doing on the screen. Also, if you're in the class, you'll have the opportunity to do the step-by-step stuff that I am doing, but if you are not, if you're remote or some other situation, you will just have to modify, or everyone will just have to modify the YAML files to get credit for this week. The reason for that, to be self-evident, I can't say with absolute certainty, even though the game is free, that everyone has the opportunity to download it and then modify it. So we are essentially going to be modifying what you would modify in OpenRA, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But since not everyone is here and I can't make sure everyone can do it, the assignment this week is to modify the YAMLs, which we will get to. First things first, if we're doing it as we normally would, you're going to make a duplicate of OpenRA. So I'm going to right click and duplicate. You can see it's creating a copy. The next step, one of the more important steps, OpenRA, red alert, modded, copy. It's most important because if I label that the same thing and then what did I call that? You might open up the modded version and say we're going to play a game in class. If you load the modded version and I'm hosting the game, your version will work. Your modded version will work with the regular version until you try to implement. So if you, for instance, are going to modify a rifleman, as soon as you build a rifleman or go to build a rifleman, boop, game crashes. Fatal error for everyone. So that's why to distinguish the different versions of the game is very important. So I've now made the duplicate. I'm going to right click, show package contents. Mac OS, this is going to be like the executables, like how the game would start up on a Mac. Code signature, playlist. I wonder what this is. Don't want to open it with Droplet. That's strange. Open it with Sublime Text or with Xcode. Like I care about it, but not so much to like go through the rigmarole to get it. Okay, where am I going now? I'm disoriented because normally my view is like this, but for the purposes of showing you guys how to do it on a video, it makes a lot more sense for it to look like this because it's just so much larger. So I believe we go into mods, we go into RA. This is the correct place. So I'm in my modded game. At the very bottom here, I have on the Mac, the view, you can see the path bar, so I can just double check that this is the modded copy, which it is. And the first thing I'm going to do, and this isn't part of the assignment, but what I think to be a cool part. Oh, come on, nothing in there. The Chrome. In one of the Chrome folders are the user interface. The UI bits here. Okay, here we go. It's not in the Chrome folder anymore. So like the sidebar, the load screen. So I don't think it's gonna show up on the screen. So let me just check this. So you're right. It's not showing that. So let me do this. I'm just going to switch over the view. Just bear with me for a second. Yep. said, just bear with me for a second here. So this is OBS. This is the program that I'm using to capture this video. And I want to move the webcam above the display capture. Okay, and now I'm going to minimize this. It's recording. And hopefully you'll see most of everything I'm about to do. So we have these, and I'm going to, it's like a quick action markup. And we'll call this raw. Look at my like pen thing. Is that gonna work? Switch to pink. And it's not doing anything. Yeah, scribble thing. There we go. So this one's called 2x, so I'm just gonna save that. 2, done. All right, so it's modified that. But I don't know if it's going to modify it in the game, so I'm gonna mark up 3. Nope, I'm gonna keep it like that. 3. Drawing 3s all over the place in pink because it's a high contrast color. Hit done. And you can get really into this, like in terms of stuff that you do. So for instance, I made like the good guys Mario and the bad guys Waluigi visually. Like I changed all the icons and all that. I'll just call this 1. No, I don't want that suggestion. No, I don't want that suggestion. No, I don't want that suggestion. Done. Okay. So let's see which one it's gonna load up on my screen. And I do that by, I'm gonna hit Command N to open up a new folder. Open the applications. I'm going to double check OBS to make sure it's recording all this, because the one thing and the reasons I don't do one of the reasons I don't do display capture is because I have to minimize it so I can't see, whereas at other times I can monitor it because I don't want to be talking about something that you're not seeing. Anyway, opening up the modded version of OpenRA. Alright, so I can tell that it's using the 2. You can see the 2s there. And you can see the 2 on the logo here. So that's, fairly straightforward. Something very easy to do. Right, I'm gonna exit out of that. This is the original OpenRA, the unmodded version. Yep, so it doesn't have that. Again, it's distinguished between the two. So you can see like there's all these other things, and because we did the load screen thing, we know that it's going to be 2 that we want to modify. So glyphs 2x is the one. If we wanted to change any of these icons, we could change them around. Dialogue and sidebar, looks like there's only one of each. This is where I did the Mario thing, so I put Mario instead of the like eagle looking thing, and then Waluigi instead of the hammer and sickle, and changed the colors from red to purple and from blue to, it wasn't Mario, it was Luigi. I'm a Luigi fan. Nevertheless, so getting into what we're actually going to have for the assignment and how we'd actually change the in-game stuff, and that's modifying the YAMLs. Now, is it under rules? I think it's under rules for the, yep. So the first thing we'll do are the, not player. It's amazing how different it is when you just change the view. Infantry. It's not going to open with anything by default. Oh, it is going to open with Sublime Text by default. If you're in class and yours is set to open with Xcode, my goodness gracious, don't just click on it. Right click, open with Sublime Text. Xcode is nice. I think I've taken it off all the computers though, because it takes about 4 minutes to boot up. And it's going to say, do you want to download all this other stuff and yada, yada, yada. Again, if you're doing some pretty heavy things in terms of modifying things, and there are some things that if you're going to do coding on a Mac that you need to have Xcode for, in terms of resources, it's good, but for what we're doing here, Sublime Text is a lot better because one, it's free, and two, it's not super heavy in terms of the amount of stuff that you have to deal with. It's going to be different if you're doing this on online for the assignment, and you're not doing it this way. It's just going to be like text edit, which works, but it doesn't have this kind of look, because here you can see there are different colors, and it's just a better way to indicate, okay, like the cost is in orange, and I can see cost and it's in turquoise, and then other things are in white, and it's a way to like kind of differentiate between different things. I don't think that text edit that we have as a default on Google has those features. It may, but I just don't use it enough to know for sure. So let's change the cost of a soldier to 1. And yeah, attack dog, meh. I don't want to do an attack dog because that's just one side of the, like each side has a soldier. Only the Soviets have the attack dogs. Medic, general, you can see there's a lot of shock trooper. Last semester we had somebody who set it so the shock trooper could literally just shoot all the way across a map. Zombie, ant, if you saw my videos, which I made yesterday, showed you how you can unlock those. It does take a specific map. Okay, Einstein's in there because they're in the game. If you play through, there are these figures who appear, and they need to have some sort of parameters. So other than changing the soldiers, infantry, that's weird, like a build a production type dog. So the thing that, yeah, maybe that's just changing the dog one. Yeah, it is. See, right up here is the very top is where it says dog. E1. General purpose infantry. And you know what I never knew is that dogs can detect spies. That is good to know. Okay, E1 soldier, infantry. Where is it saying the name? Name is attack dog. Name rifle infantry. This is the one I wanted to change the cost to be 1. And let's see, 50,000 hit points. And you might notice that you can change the attributes in terms of the cost and the health, but where's the firepower? That's in a completely different folder. So you'd have, if you wanted to modify that, you'd have to find where that folder is. So I'm going to Command S or File Save. Exit out of that. Let's see. Structures, vehicles. Back out of the rules, into the weapons. So ballistics and small caliber, if you wanted to change like the amount of damage which those particular entities do. Oh gosh, you know what I forgot to do in Sublime Text is I wanted to file Open Recent. So I just went to open recent to open to recent one, which was this. One to change what it says. So yeah, I'm like taking a long time to look at this because like the dog thing, I didn't even realize this was dog until like 3 minutes into the video. You guys saw it. Pepperoni and cheese. I think that's how you spell it. Not real, but I don't know. Look this up. See if it comes up with anything. It's a reference to another video game, an older video game. A review of an older video game. An old review of an older video game. Okay, so I saved it. File save. I'll do it this way just so you can see. Save, but I'm all about the shortcuts, like on the keyboard, not in life. Alright, so soldiers should say pepperoni and cheese, spelled incorrectly intentionally, and they should have cost $1 and have a lot more life. So, weapons, super weapons, right click, open with Sublime Text. Okay, so nuke, where are you? Nuke, atomic, here we go. So you can see there's parabomb and atomic. Looks like the only thing there is. So you can put a bunch of 9s in here, but it is gonna crash. It's like it won't even launch. So if you are gonna do something where you're really pushing the envelope, my suggestion would be don't do this like that and then, you know, put a bunch of zeros on this one as well. Because then it's going to be, you know, you're going to have to check all of those to see what is the number that caused it to crash. Whereas if you just do one at a time and it crashes, you know for sure, okay, the one that caused it to crash was this many. Geez. Okay. I am going to change the fallout by doing fall off, sorry. Crawl out to the fallout. I'm going to put 2 zeros on the end of each of these. And my hope is that it would just like continue along. Meaning the bomb explodes and instead of like falling off very quickly, it goes further out. Copy. And wherever I see this, I'm going to add those numbers. I'm going to add these numbers instead. And my guess is that this is for like the different types of, you know, where it lands in terms of, you know, if it lands on water or if it lands on the desert or on a building. Okay, so those are there. And I can also see like the spread and the damage are different. The spread is like, that's a hexadecimal code. The student I said, get the shock troopers to fire clear across the map. I think he was like, it just kind of had to mess around with that number in the weapons to see what actually worked. So again, that trial and error, which can be annoying, but hilarious when it actually ends up working. So I'm going to save this, Command S. Now we're actually going to test it. So I can exit out of here. I'm going to back up out of this. All the way out, all the way out. Now I'm going to open up my modded copy. I can see that it's a modded copy because I see all those 2s. And I'm going to go to multiplayer, create, new game modding, okay, create, add robots, who. The one thing I'm going to turn on now that is going to make this a lot easier for me, debug menu. And we'll go, normal will be fine because I have debug menu. What does debug menu do? We're gonna find out. I don't even need to do that. Start the game.
Battle control initial.
Okay, so I'm the Soviets. I hit escape. Normally, you don't have the ability to go to the debug menu, and if you've seen my other video, you would know there's unlimited power. So I'm going to turn on that. I'm going to turn on this. I'm going to turn on build anywhere, build everything, instant build speed. Give me lots of money. Again, because I am testing to see if my nuke works in terms of like how much fallout there is. Could you play like this? Yes. Is it funny? Yes. Is it a sustainable, funny way to play? No. It gets very boring quickly. It's like, okay, you're just mashing a bunch of buttons, and it's fun every once in a while, but to play like this all the time is meh. Yeah, so that's all I really want to do for right now. So now I can instantly build everything. So let's build a nuke. It's instantly built. Let's see how far this goes. I guess I'll build like a bunch of stuff here.
Build instruction complete. Build instruction complete. Build instruction complete.
This guy's gonna take some time to get his stuff built.
Build instruction complete. Select target.
Again, I'm putting the nuke there to see if it, again, because if it increased the fallout damage, these buildings should be damaged. And we will see. Yeah, so it worked. So it expanded the amount that a nuke would actually hit. How do I know that for sure? Well, we'll quit this, open up the regular game. So this is the unmodified version, and we can still do debug in this. And I'll try to do the exact same thing. But obviously not modified. Not free for all. Add robots. And I know it's robots too. Debug and robots. Robots. They used to say robots in the 50s, and I only know that because of the Twilight Zone. It's like a television show. It's like a television show because it is a television show. Oh, debug. Debug, debug, Give me lots of money, thank you. Yeah. Where's my build everything?
Build instruction complete.
Build everything. Why aren't I able to build a ship? Because I need the factory.
Complete.
Okay. Now I can build anything. Okay, so atom bomb ready. I will build a war factory. I built a radar dome. Power plant.
Build instruction complete.
And I guess I should do this over here because that's where I did it before, right?
Complete. Build instruction complete. Build instruction complete. Build instruction complete.
And I'm doing this a little bit differently because my guess is that it won't be as powerful.
Select target. A-bomb. Pressing instruction complete. Build instruction complete. Cannot deploy. Build instruction complete. Build instruction complete.
We'll see if it... Yep. So, proof that it worked. Remember that last nuke, same relative location, wiped everything out. This one, same relative location, not so much. So that is how you would modify these. No! That's how you would modify these two things. Well, you know what I should show you too is the other thing we modified. Come on, Mr. Bart. show you that quickly, and then head on over to how to actually do the assignment. Create, free for all, add the robots. I'm not gonna put debug on, I'm just gonna go fastest.
Battle control initialized.
Not gonna play the whole game, I'm just gonna build, get the barracks. And then once we get the barracks,
Construction complete. Construction loaded.
should say pepperoni and cheese, and only cost $1.
Construction complete. Construction option.
Oh boy, oh no, this isn't the modified version. Oh, come on, Mr. Bart. Wow, alright. So, it's sort of like, I did that intentionally, because it's sort of like a control thing in science. We did the control, and the control indicated that nothing had changed. Now, let's do the variable. This is 100% deliberate. Options, game speed fastest, start game.
Battle control initialized.
Again, I know it's the modded version because I can see the pink 2.
Construction
Power
complete.
plant, come on,
Construction
pepperoni and cheese. I think it will work. Am I 100% sure it will work? No, but I think it will work.
complete.
There's the bell, get to class. Yeah, pepperoni and cheese. It only costs $1. Look at that. Go forth. So it works. Right. So bumping on over to, let's see if I can change the view here now. Again, sorry for that craziness right here. Let's change it over to Google Chrome. And now you can see this. And you can see how I'm gonna do this assignment. So much like I just changed the infantry and the super weapons, you're gonna do the same thing. Only you might say, Mr. Bart, I can't open this right now. What am I gonna do? If you look at the top of your screen, and I've tested this, so yours does have it, it just comes with the Pentucket PRSD account, open with text editor. And then you get that annoying thing that pops up all the time. But it's just like what we saw in Sublime Text, only, and it is different in terms of like the colors and that sort of stuff. So very helpful. Again, you could try to change the soldier. Again, E1, soldier, infantry, and then change the cost to 1. Change the hit points to 50,000. And then you can save it. Then I think you'd be done. Like, I think that I should be able to see those changes that you've made. If not, I will send out another message to turn it in. Clearly, so turn it in, and that should work just fine. If not, I'll have you do the screenshot thing. I'm going to leave because I don't want to modify the version that I'm sharing with you guys. And the same thing with super weapons. Try to do the same thing that I've done in this video. Again, open with text editor. It doesn't need to be exactly the same, but come on down to atomic and change the numbers around, add a couple zeros. Again, it's that easy, I guess you could say. Fairly straightforward, I think, but you can get super into it, and this is just really, really scratching the surface as to how far you could change things. I mean, graphically, you can change them. You think about what I mentioned earlier about like how far the range of weapons can go. It's really interesting. Again, by and large, doing really silly stuff works as a nice gimmick to kind of break stuff up once in a while, but it's not sustainable because you always have to really consider balance. There was a time, for a very long time as a matter of fact, where infantry and helicopters were just ridiculous. If you had a non-water map for all land and your opponent had infantry and helicopters, it's not even going to be a game because they're just going to roll over you. Similar thing for a while with it was like a ball of thunder, a ball of lightning, fire, and flak. So the the helicopters and the artillery would be on the Ally side. On the Soviet side, there you could do the flamethrowers, the shock troopers, and because neither of those can handle airplanes, you get the flaks. And I think the flaks are actually the least expensive of those three. It would be you just roll through everything, throw a few mammoth tanks in there, and you're pretty much unstoppable. So again, it's where we're at right now. It's fun to do silly stuff that's going to be completely wild because we're just learning. But in the back of your mind, just remember the good modding. By and large, you want to try and keep a balance there so that things don't go so far out of whack. And if you do make something kind of overpowered, you should try to figure out, well, what could be a natural counter to that the opposing team or any other player could use. Because there are two different factions in terms of like the Soviets and the Allies, but you could be in a match where you're both on the Soviet side. So would those two things counter each other? All right, I hope this was helpful. Good luck. We are all counting on you.